The elusive INFJ male has 10 contradictory traits. I discovered I'm an INFJ after completing a Myers-Briggs personality test, and I've since become very fond of the designation. Not because I enjoy being lumped into a group, but rather because it helped me feel less self-conscious about who I am and how I see the world, especially after feeling a little odd and different from other people my entire life. After learning that the INFJ guy is one of the rarest gender-type pairings, my life made even more sense. INFJ males are considered to make up only 0.5 to 1% of the population, making them one of the rarest personality types. They are only rivaled by INTJ females, who make up an estimated percentage of the population that is comparable to theirs. At first, I blamed my hearing loss for my differences. I find it difficult to follow conversations in busy or noisy settings, so I avoided socializing there. But because I don't match the stereotypical male position, I've always believed there must be something else. I don't drink, play football or team sports, and I want a tranquil home life. Everything seemed at odds with how my male buddies were. As a result, school was a silent, isolating experience, and I found myself concentrating completely on my job and academics. Many INFJ males possess characteristics that run counter to the way that men are typically viewed, but many also have learned to conceal these traits out of shame, which makes them untrue to who they really are. As a result, one begins to feel constrained, phony, and frequently dissatisfied. INFJ males will, however, begin to shine once they learn to embrace those features and disregard what society expects of them. INFJ males have a reputation for being somewhat enigmas who lead contradictory lives. Here are just 5 of the INFJ man's many inconsistencies. Some of these are especially particular to men, while others may also, to varied degrees, be felt by female INFJs. Male INFJ contradictory characteristics. 1. Despite not being materialistic, we nevertheless want to surround ourselves with beautiful things. This isn't to brag or demonstrate that we have the best stuff, like some men do. Instead, the INFJ man values beauty, which isn't necessarily the most macho of characteristics. We don't often have desires, but when we do, we prefer to have the finest rather than live without. This is due to a condition known as all-or-nothing syndrome, which many INFJs face. 2. We desire close relationships yet are reluctant to initiate contact. The INFJ male rarely loves being the focus of attention, like any other introvert. If you can get us there in the first place, you'll frequently find us flocking toward the walls of any gathering or party. Despite this, we still yearn for deep dialogues and emotional connections, which we can only have by getting to know new individuals. Men are typically supposed to take the initiative and make the first move, but because INFJ men are quiet and reserved, we rarely approach other people. 3. Despite our concern for appearance, we detest superficiality. Many INFJ men love looking nice and taking care of their appearance, but the average man is not interested in fashion or appearance. We are aware that the environment we mostly inhabit is materialistic, shallow, and extroverted, which is completely at odds with who we really are. But INFJs recognize that we must accept and embrace some society standards if we want to be noticed or advance in life. We'll explore the more in-depth and emotional side of things once we let go of the idea that we need to fit in. This explains why INFJ males may be interested in fashion, health, and fitness, as well as more intellectual topics like philosophy, art, science, and psychology. 4. Despite the fact that we may come out as grumpy and aloof, we are truly incredibly emotional and sensitive. We INFJ men are very much in our heads since we are introverts. We constantly have everything and anything on our minds. INFJ guys may become disengaged from the outside world and its inhabitants as a result. The disconnect from the outside world and the complicated and ongoing mental discourse we experience can make us appear grumpy and cold. However, our thoughtfulness stems from a profoundly sensitive and emotional place. Unfortunately, this is a side of us that only people who are close to us can see and experience. Men are often criticized in society for having empathy, compassion, and sensitivity. Therefore, we may hide these traits out of fear of being mocked. 5. There are very few middle ground options for us. Although the average man is meant to be self-assured and in control, INFJ men have a tendency to lose themselves in their passions and extremes. This is the outcome of our idealistic and perfectionist tendencies. We would rather perform tasks well than not at all. And I believe this is true for the majority of the INFJ man's responsibilities. Either we love fully or not at all. If we want the best products, we must pay more. Unless we're eating pizza, Ben & Jerry's, and chocolate on the couch, you can find us working out hard and eating well. Okay, so that last one is just me, but I bet many INFJ males have quirks like that. We rarely perform consistently or mediocrely for extended periods of time. Though we may believe that we prefer order, predictability, and stability, our desire for learning and discovery necessitates ongoing change. Another reason we might mislead people is that we have the ability to abruptly switch from one extreme to the other, seemingly for no cause at all. 6. Despite being quite stubborn, we have empathy and compassion. Because of our sensitive, intuitive nature, the INFJ personality is frequently referred to as the counselor or the confidant. How many of the males you know would identify as empathic? Having said that, we trust our instincts above everything else since, like all INFJs, we have great intuitive abilities. This might lead to obstinacy and a propensity to disregard other people's viewpoints. We usually know we're right and we think we're right. 7. We want to resist, but we also want to fit in. We revolt against a culture that upholds values that run counter to our moral compass. Observance of rules, extroversion, freedom, consumerism, and superficiality. However, we make an effort to be welcomed, understood, and accepted by others. We have a propensity to be solitary, which frequently leads to an unmet need for meaningful, dependable interactions. Although it's expected that men will be content with their independence, the INFJ male finds that emotionally deep connections are essential. 8. They are amazing and annoying all at once. This is how our loved ones, family, and friends describe us. 9. We are both masculine and feminine. INFJ males can embody both stereotyped feminine and masculine qualities, depending on the circumstance, especially if we've accepted our emotional nature. INFJs are sometimes referred to as social chameleons for this reason. I remember helping out with the cooking, cleaning up, etc. at family Sunday dinners, while the other males in my family were occupied watching football. It's interesting to note that many INFJ guys get along with women better than most men do because they can relate to and respect our sensitive, emotional side. However, it's not uncommon for INFJ guys to struggle greatly with forming romantic connections. Once more, this is a result of our idealistic and perfectionistic natures, as well as our determination to never accept a relationship that doesn't live up to our high expectations. Additionally, our solitary, introverted character and a profound dread of rejection feed it. 10. We have a murky mind, but we're hopeless romantics. He certainly looked to have the quality of a gentleman, but the unusual type who understands when to quit acting like one.